I'm going to share my. Hopefully, I'm down there in a little circle. So I'm excited to be here. My name is Dakisha Williams, and I'm going to share with you three things that you need to master online events. Not only are we going to talk about how to master online events, we're going to talk about how to really automate your leads and revenue generation. This is actually one of my favorite topics, and so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So the three things that you need to master online events, number one is going to be prospecting. You have to be very, very crystal clear on who you are speaking to because you can potentially attract the wrong audience with your messaging. If you don't have your messaging and you don't have clarity around your audience. So I'm just trying to make sure that I can see everything. All right. So we're live there. Number two is clarity around the problem that you solve. This is also another very important thing. If you do not clearly understand the problem that your audience has and the solution that you can provide, you have to be very, very specific around, being clear on what they're struggling with and how you can serve them, how you can solve that problem for them. So, and also the results. People buy results. So it's not necessarily always about I can help you solve this problem, but once the problem is solved, what is life or business going to look like for that particular individual? All right. So now I gotta just figure out how there we go. How I move on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys started. I absolutely love this particular vehicle. If you have never heard me teach before, this is one of the vehicles that help transform my life, my business, and for my clients, right? So if you have been anything like I was tired of not monetizing my live streams. Like they told me you got to go live every single freaking day, right? Two and three times out of the day. This was back when Periscope was a thing. Do y'all even remember Periscope? And then, being able to monetize my message. Like, are you tired and are you ready to make money from your message? I know one of my clients in class last night, she's like, I just got to make sure that my messaging is right, Takesha. So are you ready to monetize your message? And then some of you that are under the sound of my voice, you may not even be clear of how to pitch your signature or core offer. I get so many people that say, I have a course and I want to sell it. I just don't know how to. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And the last thing, last but not least, is you are not meeting your revenue goals in business. I know, I know, I know. We all set these big, audacious revenue goals, and then when we don't meet them, we get disappointed, right? So no matter where you guys are joining me from, if you're watching me live, if you're watching the replay, you can see me down there on the screen. I'd love for you to comment in the chat. Let me know who you are, where you guys are tuning in from. I always like to know who I'm talking to. I also like to know like what is it that you do. I engage with my audience, and so regardless of where you're watching me, do me a favor, type your name in, tell me where you're from, and tell me what your level of expertise is. And I do you one better. Type in what your revenue goal is. I'm going to say for the next 90 days. Fair enough? All right, so just tell me what your revenue goals are for the next 90 days. All right, so like I said, you guys are in the right place if you are struggling to generate revenue or you have a course that either A is not created or it's created and you're having a hard time to enroll people into that course. All right, this is for you. Here's what you guys are going to learn today, and I'm going to try and see if I can keep this down. Y'all hold me to that. I'm going to see how I can get through this content without rushing, but making sure that I bless you with our time together. All right. And so at this day and age, you guys, like online events are the thing, right? They are generating ongoing and consistent leads. Don't get me wrong, the world is opening back up. We just did an event as well. So I get it, but there are still some people that are like, still want to participate virtually. So this is where you can capitalize on the fact that virtual is still a thing, right? Online training is still a thing. And we're going to give you a strategy to create consistent cash flow in your business. Somebody type consistent. Now here is what I need you to understand. Knowledge is the new currency. People will pay you for what you know more than what you do, right? So if I can cut or shave off 5 years of my success, to do that by paying you or investing in you in your program so that you can help me get to where I want to be in life and or in business, right? I want you to write that down. I want you to remember that. Knowledge is the new currency. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is not for you if you are not willing to do the work. We have a product launch intensive program that is a year-long program, and every week there is a lesson plan and homework that they have to do. As a matter of fact, I made some of them in class turn off your camera and finish your homework because it is a process and you're not going to be able to move on to the next assignment without completing the current assignment, right? So if you're not willing to do the work, this ain't the place for you. And honestly, I don't have time to be dealing with, individuals that are not, y'all ain't ready to pull y'all sleeves up. And I'm gonna be the one to say it. Like, just because you pull out your credit card doesn't mean that you're ready to pull your sleeves up and get the work done. I'm just saying, right? And then if this is not for you, or if you are not comfortable with knowing your worth, I don't have time to be trying to convince you that you have what people want. I don't have time. I don't have the strength to convince you that you are worth the price point that you put on your programs. Like, that's a whole live stream all by itself. Like, I might have to do that one because I have in my past, I've been doing this thing for 10 years, and I'll tell you a little bit about me in a little bit. But the last thing that I want to spend 90 days doing is convincing somebody that they are worth a client investing in them. Baby, you need to know for yourself that you are worth every penny that someone invests in you. That's a word right there. Y'all need to just type that, right? And if you're looking for a quick fix, this ain't it. Like, this is not the success overnight type of thing. I didn't do my success overnight. I'm a 10-year overnight success, okay? But by the end of this training together, by the end of our time together, you will know how to increase your revenue using webinars, period, point blank. If you're driving, don't comment, right? You're going to have to come back and watch the replay. But at the end of the day, the only thing that I can do is tell you is to keep an open mind. I know some of the things you may have heard, but while you're here with me, I want you to take this information in. You can go back, do some additional deep dive. If you got to listen to it 2 and 3 times like me, then so be it. But here's what I'm going to talk about over the next, I'm going to say 45 to 60 minutes. I told y'all to keep me on the clock, right? Because I get excited. But I got a boogie. I got to go. All right. So number 1, how to make money with any size audience using webinars. Number 2, the exact method to share your message and build your list simultaneously. And then the webinar success blueprint. And it's one simple tweak to 10x your impact and your income. Now, webinars has been the number 1 way that I've built my list and created a lifestyle business. When I left corporate America 2011, August 24th, I went on leave of absence. I'm still on leave of absence. Hashtag longest leave ever. You can type that in your note. Hashtag longest leave ever. When I left corporate America, I was a district manager, 13 locations over 5 states. My children were 5 and 11 at that time. And I spent a lot of time in Hartsfield International Airport. And so I knew when I left corporate America, I wanted to be present for my children. That was the whole point of me leaving corporate America is so that I could be present with my children. And I always like to tell people that I have been looking behind me for 1,288 days, but who's counting? And now one just graduated from college, y'all. Right? So being in a place where I can use virtual training, online training, so that I can be present for my kids, it has allowed me to pretty much, if you let my daughter tell her, I ain't missed not one meet, especially any that were local here. Hey Jerome, I see you. What's going on? It has allowed me to travel with a football, travel with track. This is the first time that I've actually participated in like a track meet, y'all. That thing is all day long. Nobody ever told me that track is all day long. But because I have systems in place, because I have, virtual trainings that are automated that I can drive traffic to, I have been able to become the hashtag sports mom. Yep, that's me. And so here's what I realized. I created a 6-step system designed to help you build your email list, build your own database, and stop relying on these social media platforms so that you guys can make more money, so that you can have more time to do what? Do the things you love without spending tons of dollars on Facebook ads or even having a huge list. Would you like to hear what those 6 steps are? Yes or yes. You can just comment and let me know that I'm talking to the right people. Make sure I ain't talking to myself. All right. Here's the other, here's one of the biggest things that hold people back in this space, and there is a fear of technology. Listen, I literally hit one button today and hit the live button, and I'm streaming in multiple places, right? That's all it took was one button, and it said record now, go live now. So when you use the proper tools, it doesn't have to be so daunting, and I know everyone's not a techie person. I am clearly a techie person, right? And I love to research tech. I realized when I was teaching the Webinar Success Blueprint program that fear would show up in my clients. Let me tell you how I knew it was showing up, right? I always beg them to make a commitment to tell me when you're going to do your next webinar. So if you're interested in hosting webinars, I want you to comment me in the chat below, regardless of where you are joining me from. All right. Now, and so here's what I do is when you tell me I'm interested, I usually reach out to you and I say, hey, when would you like to get started? The first thing that they do is, no, baby, we don't have time for that. You give me a date. Yvonne, give me a date. How soon do you want to use webinars in your business? Right? This is real time. This is what I do. My students know it. They already know what time it is. And so let me tell you, I've worked with one-on-one clients. I have worked in group coaching. I have done courses, you name it. When I tell them to schedule a date and go live, as soon as they try to change that date, baby, that's how I know the fear starts showing up. I'm telling you, every single time. Oh, I didn't know I could change the slide with this. Let me bring this back. So, but I'm here to tell you that you do not have to be afraid. I teach you guys how to use certain softwares to kind of help with the technology. Sometimes you can use just a click of a button and your PowerPoint and you're ready to go. And look at that. I've been teaching this so long. What if you could click a few buttons and go live in front of your audience and share your message? How about that, right? That's exactly what I've done today. And so if you could just click a few buttons, be honest with me, and you can comment in the chat. Y'all can talk to me like I'm here, I'm real. If you could click a few buttons, would you be willing to tackle online virtual trainings, masterclass, workshops? Give it a cute name, but at the end of the day, it's still called a webinar. Would you be willing and would you be committed? I haven't even started teaching yet. What if you had templates and a pre-designed webinar template to help you put together a profitable presentation? I literally just taught this last night in our Webinar Success Tribe membership program. I literally showed them how to build a profitable presentation in less than 45 minutes. Would you be willing, or would you be, yeah, would you be willing and committed to go ahead and doing your webinar in the next, I'd say 30 to 45 days? So honestly, webinars require little technical experience to really get started in this space. And it doesn't really matter what you call the actual training. Like if you call it a webinar, if you call it a master class, a boot camp. So Jerome said, I just wrote a book. I'm considering this tactic. Love to know what the book is about. And it's interesting that you said that, because I work very closely with Taria Vision Avant. She is the book profits queen. And so one of the things that we do, we collaborate together, because she teaches people how to write a book to get clients. And so I also teach you how to use your webinar to get clients. But here's the beautiful thing about it. You can use your book to create content for your webinar in order to get more clients. I did have a copy of my book right here. Oh, so here's a copy, and this is, here's a copy of my book, right? 40 Ways to Generate Revenue. So this is 40 different webinar titles, and the call to action would be to get them as a client, to get them to enroll as a client. So if you have a book, you can absolutely use your book to create content for your webinar. So there you go. Now, the other thing that people say to me all the time is people are not making money from webinars. If your webinar is not honest with you, it's probably the content, and are you willing to show people that you can help them get results? So it's not necessarily that the webinar itself is not converting, but are you getting your message in front of the right people? And then are you able to show them that you can actually provide the transformation that they are looking for? And so oftentimes I hear this when people say, well, I'm not going to be able to get 300 people on my webinar so that I can have a 5-figure launch. Well, let me tell you something, sweetie. I've been doing this for about 10 years, right? I've been in business for about 10 years. I had 80 people in my first webinar challenge, and we did $10,000. And honestly speaking, only the top 1% of influencers in this space have over 1,000 people register for their webinar. The average webinar has between 30 to 50 participants. And I want you to write that down. But don't beat yourself up when you start on this path. The average webinar has 30 to 50 people on every average webinar, okay? So, if you could have your first 5-figure launch with less than 50 people on the webinar, would you be game and to stay to the end? All right, I'm trying to think of what can I give you guys. I might give you guys the outline that I just created if you stay to the end, but you got to text me, and I'll give you what you can text me, just so I can I'll give you a free gift just for hanging out with me. How about that? All right, so webinars are designed to attract your ideal client, right? I tell my students all the time that your marketing message will attract your ideal client, and your messaging will allow them to raise their hand to say, "Hey, she's talking to me." And think about the title of this presentation or the training. This training is called "How to Automate Leads and How to Automate Revenue Generation." So, literally, I'm showing you how you can put a system in place, um, launch it, and then people will start to register for your training. The names will start loading on your email list. You should be growing your database, and then the money just comes when you make the offer. So I tell people, I'm here just working. I wish my hands worked like my ears sometimes. When you position your expertise in front of the right audience, your conversion increases regardless of the size of the audience. And I need you guys to remember that, right? And so this is for those that say, well, I help everyone. No, you don't. You have to find a specific area and expertise Because when you move from speaking to everyone and convert to speaking to the one, you position yourself to make more money. So people specifically come to me when they want to put together a online training platform to get more clients. So they want to host a boot camp, a workshop, a masterclass, a webinar. They're all webinars. Somebody type, they are all webinars. I feel like I'm working on the radio. And so that's an area of specialty. So when you know that you want to host your first webinar, most people will recommend myself. They will say, if you want to host a webinar, if you want to host a 2-hour masterclass, I got someone for you. Her name's Dakisha C. Williams, the webinar queen, period, point blank, right? And so some people say, well, look, I can live stream. I can do my presentation and I can live stream. They are all webinars. Thank you, Yvonne. And here's what I have to say about live streams. So, and I want you to write this down. I use live stream for awareness and I use webinars for conversion. I use live stream for awareness and I use webinars for conversion. So when I'm live streaming, I'm using that platform so that people know who I am and know that I exist. That's it, baby. That's all I'm going live for. When I'm live, you see me training live, that is purely like 1000%. That is only so that people can know that I exist. So for an example, if you get a nugget today, you're going to tag your friend, you're going to share their video out, right? That's going to increase the algorithms for my videos on either platform, and people will start to know that I exist. Now, when we are ready to actually pitch and have a sale, I'm going to use a webinar platform. I'm going to use a webinar platform because I want your undivided attention. And can I sell from a live stream? Absolutely. But I can't automate that process. Get it? All right. So the last thing that people tell me is webinars will not work in my industry. And here's what I have to say about that. And I think that most people think that this really only works for coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors. But to be honest with you, if you know any realtors, mortgage loan officers, financial advisors, tax preparers, like those are like my ideal client. Like my bread and butter are the coaches, consultants, because everybody is doing webinars. But let me tell you something. If I find me a realtor that's willing to put together a webinar funnel, baby, I'm going to show them how to automate some leads. Because at the end of the day, regardless of the industry that you are in, you are educating your buyer. It doesn't matter. If you are selling a product or service, you are educating the end user. Let me give you an example. The housing market is booming right now. And so I did a YouTube video not too long ago for my realtors to say, listen, you need to start attracting leads by educating them, bringing them into your ecosystem instead of paying for leads at your real estate office, which I know y'all doing. And even some of these financial advisors who they're telling, call your sister, your uncle, and your brother and set up a day for them to come or you to go to their house, and then they recommend somebody and 5 people to you. Ain't nobody got time to do that. When you can drive all of that traffic to one webinar presentation, one online presentation, and you go from speaking to one and you go to speaking to many, right? So no more excuses as to why webinars will not work for speakers, CBD oils, fitness experts, network marketers. Anyone who is educating the end user, anyone who is selling a product, you have to provide information to your prospective client. You got me? Type yes or yes. Webinars is the vehicle used to transfer information to the end user so that they can make an educated buying decision. I don't care if you're selling cars. I don't care if you're selling car insurance, life insurance. You can actually use online trainings to your benefit, y'all. All right. So when you identify that a webinar is a vehicle to take the prospect and transform them into clients, your profit will increase. So just a little bit about me and how I got on this journey. As you see on the screen, as a single mom of two, oftentimes it was hard for me to just up and travel to all the conferences happen across the country. You got to remember, when I left corporate America, I was already traveling through Hartsfield International Airport. And I felt guilty. My kids was 5 and 11, right? I've been doing this for 10 years. And so actually it might be 11 now. Look at that. I would feel guilty about leaving them at home. Now my son like, yeah, all right, deuces, mom. Yeah, he chucks the deuces. Okay. Um, but I found the software. I found this vehicle that allowed me to teach, train, and facilitate from the comfort of my own home. I created a program called Webinar Success Blueprint. Out of that blueprint and teaching, I came across these 6 steps. All right. So step number 1 is called prospecting. What is that? Prospecting is the method of you finding your ideal clients. Well, how do I do that, D? Here's how you do it. Promote the problem, service the solution. I'm saying it again. Promote the problem and service the solution. Y'all writing this down? Don't be like me out here giving all this good knowledge and y'all ain't writing this down. All right. So, well, what does that mean? You have to understand their struggles and what's keeping them up at night. Here is the biggest mistake that I see content creators. That's what I'm going to call you. The biggest mistake that I see content creators make is that they're posting their event. Come to my event, come to my workshop. I'm hosting a boot camp, blah, 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 blah. But what problem are you solving? Why do I want to come to your event? Why should I come to your event? So you have to understand what their struggles are, and you have to promote the problem, and then you service the solution. You have to craft a message that speaks directly to the problem. Otherwise, you're not going to get their attention. The way that I got your attention is that I said to you, I can show you how you can automate leads and revenue generation. Period, point blank. And so what I do is I create my own platform. I don't wait for anyone to ask me to come speak on their stage. I create my own stage, and every time I do this, you guys, I get asked to come share my knowledge and expertise on someone else's stages. Because what am I doing? I'm creating visibility, right? And then I use a webinar to convert into a client. So address the problem and then position the solution. So Rob Youngblood participated in our webinar, one of our first webinar challenge. And we used to use positioning questions. I still use positioning questions. Positioning questions is the question that you ask to get them to raise their hand. So he used this technique on LinkedIn because he's really big on LinkedIn. And out of the 25 responses, he was able to get on the phone with 3 people in one day. Each requested a proposal for programs totaling over $9,000. And even recently, within the last 6 months, I think Rob jumped on one of my trainings and quickly implemented one additional technique. And he was able to close multiple new clients in that time frame just by listening to the live stream and using that one particular system. So it works, y'all. So the next thing is optimize. All right. So we talked about prospecting. We talked about optimize. And I gave you a little bit of this just a few minutes ago. Optimize means build your own stage. Don't wait for someone to ask you to speak on their stage. How many of you are sitting now like waiting for someone to ask you to come be on a summit, speaking at an event? I'm pretty sure that most of you under the sound of my voice are probably waiting to hear back from some event that you may have submitted to, or you've even said, I need to start submitting my speaker sheet to get more speaking engagement. Well, what about if you created a space where people can come hear your expertise? What if you created a safe space where people can come to hear your level of expertise? Why not use a webinar to build your list of people who are waiting to work with you? How many of you have a list or database right now of people waiting to work with you? I got to go follow up mine now, right? I have a list of people who have said, D, I'm coming. D, I ain't forgot about you. I got you. D, I want to work with you. Not right now. Like I literally have a list of people waiting to work with me. Every time I do a training, a live training, guess what? 30% of the people that show up will become my prospective client. Do y'all know that? So this is a way that you guys can create a list of people who are waiting to work with you. Then there's the transformation. I think this is out of order, but I'm going to teach it anyway. So the transformation is where you actually make money from all of your hard work. This is where you make money from all of your hard work. This is where you swiped the credit card, right? The system will work if you work. Y'all see my little dance? The system will work if you work it. Period, point blank. And here's what I tell you. Don't expect results if you're not willing to do the work. All right? Don't expect results if you're not willing to do the work. So this is your time to own your space. And I talked to you a little bit about this earlier. Being confident and providing what I call the ultimate goal of transformation. What is the UGT? This is your special process, your signature process that you use to provide a transformation in the lives of your ideal client. Now, here's how you can do this. You by creating an irresistible offer in your webinar can convert a prospect to a client every single time. Somebody type every single time. All right. So, this is just a small portion of the framework. Prospect. So it's prospect, resolution, optimize, focus, ignite, and transform. Right. Again, this was to just give you a sneak peek into the system that I created. Someone who has a huge message and a small list, this framework can work for. All right. So webinars have become the top method in generating revenue from home for me. One of my students, Crystal Cunningham, she wanted to let you all know that this works. As of this, as of that morning, she was one of the first members that enrolled in my Webinar Success Blueprint program. And so it was so funny because we had just started the actual program for WSB. And before I even taught the entire thing, she had already set up a Zoom call for her webinar. Well, when she got on the Zoom call, it dropped her, but the audience was still there. And I always like to say that someone is waiting to work with you. And so by the time she finished her Zoom presentation, she had 8 people that had paid from her program and enrolled in her new group. She wasn't supposed to sell anything on the first night, and she felt it was time to leave. Next week, she went back and did it. By the time she got back to our Q&A session, she had over 16 people enrolled. And so by opting into my program, into the class, and learning about webinars, she was able to build her audience, and not sure if she would have been able to get the results. Since the class, she's been promoting her program without any paid ads. And to this day, she's launched a brand new course, and she enrolled clients into her new course using webinars as her vehicle. All right. Now, who can benefit from it? Speakers, authors, consultants, coaches can also benefit from the use of webinars. So I do have an opportunity for you to use webinars in your business, and I'm going to drop the link for you. Y'all got to bear with me because I'm on multiple platforms. All right, so here we go. Where do I start, D? So I have a program called High Converting Webinar. All right. Converting webinar. Will it work? Absolutely. If you freaking do the work. Here's how you get started. Convertingwebinar.com. I'm going to put the link, highconvertingwebinar.com. Here is what you're going to get. You are going to get a step-by-step training on how to create an irresistible offer. I am going to teach you how to market your message so that you can attract your ideal clients. It's very important that you understand their pain points so that they raise their hand and they are waiting to work for you or work with you. I'm going to show you the powerful promotional strategies that we use to help get people registered and stay to the end. We typically have about 9 to 12 steps that we use to help you increase your webinar registration. Then I show you how to create impeccable content that keeps them engaged. The beautiful part about this is you have to have a no-brainer close. Well, what do you mean? that means that you have to give them an option where it absolutely is no brainer for them to work with you. They're like, okay, tell me, where do I sign up? That's all. That's the only thing they want to know is, where do I sign up? So the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to show you the software that we use in order to automate this entire process as well. I have a relationship with a webinar software program, and we actually use their software. I'm actually using it right now. I always do that. I like to show my clients, I like to show my audience exactly the software, and I like to implement what I teach so that you can see that it works. Cool? Is that cool enough for you? All right. So for those of you all that decide that you want to take action today, I do have a bonus, and this bonus is for those individuals who say, well, I don't have a course created yet. It's okay. The first time that I did my webinar presentation, I didn't have a course set up either. You believe that? I actually did my training. I sold it, then I serviced it. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So I have a training program that will show you how to create a course in 30 days or less. And so if you decide that, hey, this is what, I want to become a part of the high converting webinar tribe, then you'll get access to that course as well as a part of it. All right. So guess what? I got another bonus for y'all. The other bonus that we have is my follow-up sequence. So this is the key, because people, you get people to sign up for your webinar, you lose them because you don't have the proper follow-up protocol. And so I show you the follow-up sequence in emails and templates. I give you my exact ones. Depending on the software that you use, I was trying to see if the offer is in here. Depending on the offer that you guys use, depending on the software that you use, I can actually give you the exact emails, and you can import it into your system. So depending on if you use like Keep or ActiveCampaign, I can give you the emails and the templates for higher conversion, and you can actually put them in your software system. So I try to make life so much easier for you guys. Give me just a second. I want to post a link for you. If I've already posted it in the chat. If you are in the training with me, for you guys that are here online, here is the link. You're going to be surprised. I still got some bonuses left. All right, there you go. All right, so let's see. So bonus number 2 is a follow-up sequence and emails templates for higher conversion. All right, there you go. Let me see something. Oh, I didn't went to the link. I love it here. Oh no, I can't pin it. All right, so for those of you all that decide to take action right now today, I'll give you 3 months access to live monthly Q&A session. We did launch the monthly webinar Success Tribe monthly membership. So you'll get 3 months access to the monthly tribe membership. We meet every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and we talk all things webinar. So if you got questions, I got answers. So I put the link in there. So if you join today while this is still live and online, right? I'll go ahead and grant you 3 months access. And so while you're going through the course, you'll be able to ask your questions on our weekly Q&A calls. Love the membership. Membership is absolutely crazy. Matter of fact, I walked them through the profitable presentation on our most recent membership call. I mean, I'm not just saying this because I do this, but like the training was freaking crazy. The outline of how to create a workshop, masterclass, or whatever, it was phenomenal. So I uploaded it, put it in the membership portal. I'm gonna make it pretty. But that's how I just train y'all. I love this stuff. All right, so if you do decide to purchase within the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'll go ahead and give you a jumpstart 30-minute private session. That's valued at $19.97. I charge about $3,000 for a 90-minute strategy session, 2-hour strategy session. So 30 minutes for the cost of what you're going to get in this particular program. Bananas. All right, so I'm just going to review real quick what you guys get for the high converting webinar course. It is a 6 to 8 week course, depending on how fast you go through it. You pay in full, you get all access. If you do a payment plan, it's dripped out to you. For those of you all that don't currently have a course, you can get how to create a course in 30 days or less. We will give you as a bonus the follow-up sequence and email templates for higher conversion rates. For those of you all that take action today, I'll give you access to 3 months of the Webinar Tribe monthly membership program. Right now, we meet every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you buy it in full, like if you don't do the payment plan, I will do a one-on-one coaching session with you. It's a 30-minute coaching session. That's only if you pay in full. And you can schedule that at your convenience. I would tell you to schedule it once you've been through like at least 50% of the modules, so that at least we can talk about, your business. Whereas trying to do that session before you even jump into the program. So look at that. Check that out. Today only. This program is $597, right? I'm feeling kind of nice today, y'all. And so I've put the link in the chat, highconvertingwebinar.com, but the link is also in the chat. So just scroll through the chat. If you can't seem to get to the page, just DM me. Or you can email info@visionsconsulting.com, but you can get there by going to highconvertingwebinars.com. You can either take this information that I've given you and you can go about it yourself, or you can work with someone who's been doing this for 10 years. And I'm going to tell you what's going to work and what's not going to work, my dear. So again, $597, y'all. $597. Come on now. highconvertingwebinar.com. Any question, it is pre-recorded. We do have live Q&A if you decide to join while we are here right now. We meet every Tuesday. And again, this is one of the most phenomenal programs that I have created in the last 6 to 8 months, because this is actually a brand new program. You can get there by go to highconvertingwebinar.com. If you have any questions, type your questions in the chat. Hit me up. I am so proud I did this in like 40 minutes or less. Woo, woo. So listen, I'm going to get out of here, but I just wanted to come and bring and drop some value for you. Please do me a favor. Drop your key takeaways in the chat and let me know. And also, what questions do you have about webinars? Whatever questions that you have. I'm going to continue to put out content like this so that I can help you guys generate those leads, generate that revenue in your business so that you can meet that revenue goal that you typed a little bit earlier. So without further ado, my name is Dakisha Williams, your virtual COO and webinar strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys next time.